you for setting up this time this evening to talk about the fair tax, something that a great many of us, in fact 51, have signed on as co-sponsors of this particular piece of legislation. I do salute my friend Mr. Linder of Georgia for continuing to keep this piece of legislation out in the forefront. You know, it's incumbent upon us as members of the legislative body to do what we can to bring things to the floor for debate. But you know, it's also incumbent on people out there in just good old regular America to call their members of Congress, to inform them of what they want. I think of Skip and Loretta Aiken back in my district, who every time there's a fair tax issue that comes up, they're a part of it. They're wearing their fair tax shirts. They've been to the city of Atlanta talking about the issue and bringing the good news forward, but they're just a lot of people that aren't listening. You know, we're in great economic peril now. We all know that. We all have compassion. We want to solve the problems that are out there, but you know, we hear more and more about taxes. We hear class warfare, if you will. And again, my colleague has just talked about the issue of, you know, choosing where you spend your money, choosing if you're going to buy something. It even goes beyond that. It's choosing whether you buy something new or whether you buy something existing or used, where there won't be a sales tax on it. But, you know, what's amazing to me is, besides the fact that it does away with all of the other taxes that are embedded out there, it's something that you alluded to, Mr. King, just a little while ago, and that was that it prohibits funding of the IRS after the year 2013. Can you imagine no Internal Revenue Service after the year 2013? Why? Because each of every one of us remits at the cash register, at the point of sale. We remit that tax that's there. So, yes, it's already been alluded to in an administration where the Treasury Secretary that our President chose could not figure out how to pay his taxes among the overly complicated tax code. I hope that Secretary Geithner will join my colleagues and others in supporting this particular bill. And lastly, Mr. King, I would like to also remind my colleagues that there are fair tax rallies that are being held all across the country, and the next one that I'm familiar with is in my state of Jacksonville on the 11th of April, and unfortunately I will not be able to be there, as I will be somewhere overseas visiting with our troops during that time of our break. But you know, the people that are keeping this forward and in our issue at forefront today are the ones that need to be saluted, as well as those that continue to talk about it. I encourage you, and will be with you here every time that you want to bring the fair tax issue to the floor, and I thank you again for bringing this to the floor.
I thank the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Miller, for coming.